Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's weekend prep and review. I guess it's more of just a weekend review. I am going to be traveling majority of next week, so therefore I'm just going to take a week off from the markets. Hence why I close a lot of my trades out early and just hang out, recharge, and then come back. So I don't really have a prep for you guys, but I am expecting uh, basically what I'm looking at is the market to revert some because we're outside the outer Bollinger Bands, and the markets are starting to look a little heavy and tired. So they'll either consolidate. So here's the S&P futures, just hanging around this. My pencil hanging around this support line, and the let me bring up my squeeze chart. Though that the squeeze did fire on the daily, like we are 2 bars in, but we're already starting to get signs of exhaustion. Like these bars are starting to turn dark blue, meaning that they're tired. Doesn't mean it can't continue higher, but it definitely, from what I've seen, when they're blue like that, there's not really like a big push. It could like drift higher, but necessarily doesn't mean it's not going to push higher. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another little flush down to the 21 and we continue higher because you can see a hit here and here and here, and it's just going higher. Ultimately, the market is bullish. So, anyways, I say definitely moves for the up. I closed everything out, even closed my hedge, but just to show what I have, I still have Zoom. I'm liking this little flag formation that formed right here, and looking for it to go higher. And the weekly chart is what I like the most on it. How we tested the 34 EMA, and now we're at the 21 EMA after trending down for so long. And then just waiting to get the buy arrow on the raft down here. So we'll have the ready, aim, just waiting for the little arrow to say fire. And I think we could get a good pump up on Zoom. But that's my only position. I'll be closing that one out on Monday, regardless of what's happening. And so, yeah, that's it for really the prep. I don't have anything to provide you because I am going to chill out and not trade. So, but I could definitely do some reviews. All right, so this week I did a total of 10 trades, and I have 7 winners, 3 losers, giving me a 70% chance, or sorry, a 70% win rate. And that brought my totals to $2,804 for the week. So, pretty good week so far. If you look right here at the calendar, it's been a pretty good month. I'm close to $6,000. I'm not 100% sure. I'll need to calculate it all, but pretty sure it's close. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and review the trades. I'm only going to review one's closed. That way it's not a like I'm doing it twice. So basically right here, just open Peloton, Take Two, Zoom, and Facebook. Let's go back. All right, and closed Square. Okay, this one I rolled out. So I did on this one, it wasn't going like I wanted it to, so I did take a after commissions, basically $275 loss. So the setup was it's green 10x bars on the larger time frames. It's in the 21 EMA, which is a good entry point. At the 21 EMA, you see I got a 15-minute high of low bar buy arrow. So that's a good little setup. You got your stacked EMAs, and we're at the high of the 52-week high. We're at the 91% of that channel. So that's it. Everything's trending higher. Obviously, you just look at it. It's a strong stock. I like the daily squeeze setup that was here. Enter that to 21 EMA. We have a squeeze. Over here on the 4-hour, it's looking good. Everything's just saying going higher. But it wasn't going in time. Like I was running out of time. This year I'm implementing a time stop more strictly. Basically, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm entering trades for the next week, and by Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, if they are not moving in my direction, I'm going to go ahead and cut them for a loss, for a smaller loss than a bigger loss if they don't move. So you see, basically stayed sideways from my entry point to when I got out. Just wasn't firing. So yeah, so entered here. A few days later, exited there for a small loss. Okay, but I did roll it out, and I'll show you what that means. I went a little further out, but Facebook. So on Facebook, I was risking about $500, ended up making a little over $1,100. And what did I enter? I entered a 7 days till expiration, 255, 250 bull put for a 228. And I'll explain what I was looking for. So the market was closed on Monday, so I wasn't wanting to aim too far out on a target because that means one less day of a potential to move in my direction. And also, I meant to close half at my 50% of max profit, but I'm sorry, at my 71%, but only a third ended up closing, so therefore I closed it out in thirds. Anyways, I closed a third out at 71%, and I closed out the rest for 87% return. Now, what was the setup here? All right, so Facebook has been selling off, so let me explain this chart. So this is the 21 EMA. This is 1 ATR. The blue lines are 2 ATR, the yellow are 3 ATRs. So it's selling off, right? It's extended. Usually when we get 2 to 3 ATRs away, we revert back to the 1 ATR or the 21 EMA. It was extended all the way down. So I'm all right, so we may bounce. Now on this chart, you see we have support right here, and that's exactly where it hit. And it also hit this purple line, which is the 200 SMA. That is known for like long-term investors. When price gets near it, they will enter it and hold it for a much longer time because, as you can tell, it barely ever comes up to or catches up to it. And it did, and it had also that candle formation is a bullish harami. And right here, like we said, sold off to that support level. Got a buy arrow right off that support level, and 10x bars are now green. So ideally, since this is a 30-minute chart, you want your 30-minute chart to turn green, and then your 60-minute and your 2 hour, 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Right here we have a 3 hour buy arrow, and it just trickles through all the time frames. Anyways, got it there. And basically all it was is I was looking for a bounce off a pretty steep sell-off past 2 ATRs, hitting a support level, which has been hit multiple times. So I was hitting it here, hit it there, hit it here, and then also the 200 SMA. There was just a lot of support there. So I was looking, it was a support resistance play. So looking for support to hold, and it held perfect. I mean, couldn't get any better. And made 87% return in 3 days. Can't complain. I entered the position here, scaled out that third here, and then ended up closing the rest right there. So I hope that all makes sense, but quick little Facebook trade. Take 2, I scaled out half, but I'll cover that when I talk about I closed it. All right. All right, Thursday, my SPX trade. This was frustrating, but it's happened before and it'll happen again. So to me, the markets are a little extended. They're outside the Bollinger Bands. I was expecting a little bit of a drift lower. So we're, after the big pop, we're outside the 2 ATR. Right here, we're having a sell arrow on the 10-minute chart, having red 10x bars, we're hitting near the Bollinger Band. And I say it up here. Okay, yeah, I ended up stopping out. And I will show you what happened. And this was so frustrating. So I was watching on the 5-minute chart. So I sold I know that this, let me go ahead and explain this real quick because you'd be looking at seeing this as SPY. So TraderView doesn't pull data from the SPX. It will only pull it from the SPY. So therefore it's just replacing it. It's the same thing. But I did sell the 3860s and bought the 3865s as a hedge on that. So basically I wanted it to be below 3860 going into the next day. Well, like I said, I was looking weak. When everything started selling off, I entered here. My stop was right up here because this was resistance. It was consolidating here. And whenever I was watching this consolidation, this little flag, and it popped up. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to stop out. Closed it. Boom. All right, and down we go. I was like, you sucker, because it went exactly where I wanted it to go. But it happens. Drifted lower throughout the day, and I could have just closed it out for a small winner to break even, but nonetheless, stopped out right at the tops. Literally. Got in here, literally sold the top. What's actually, just how much at the top did I? Was I the last one to get out of that thing? Let's see. Oh, pretty close. That's frustrating, but whatever, it happens. So like I said, there was consolidating and it got that pop up, and look, the last green candle on the 1-minute chart, I got out, and then down it went. Oh well, it happens. So small loss, a $381 loss. I was aiming for about $350, so all in all, not too bad. That's kind of funny though, but it's happened before, and like I said, it will happen again. All right, Friday, last day. This was a busy day. So I did a 0 days till expiration trade on Amazon. Like I said, the market's looking weak. Amazon has a habit of going up early morning and then fading out the rest of the day. At the open, it went up straight to this resistance level that's right here. And then I entered a 3,300, 3,305 bear call spread for 268 of credit. I closed it out at 50% profit. Would have liked more, but it didn't drift as low as I was wanting. It was basically moving sideways, and I was like, okay, this thing's going to pin at 3,300, so I'm just going to take my 50% and not risk it becoming a loser. So right here at the 3 minutes. So like I said, it spiked up. I started looking for a position. It was consolidating again. Entered here. And let it just ride. All I needed it to do is below this level. And my stop was 33.20. And it just drifted. And then whenever it drifted lower and I saw it hit this support level, I was watching how it was reacting here. And once I saw this shooting star candle, I was like, okay, so I did not want it to shoot up higher and become a loss, which it kind of did right here. But at the end of the day, it did end up lower. It could have been a max profit, but I had other things I had to do for the day. Got tired of watching it just move sideways, and I was worried about it just pinning at 3,300. And if we look at the entire day, pretty sure it. What did we close at? So it was below 3,300. Nonetheless, quick 50%. Can't complain about that. Oops. So it's a quick day trade. I made $527 on it after commissions and whatnot, and I was only risking $200. So not bad. Solid risk reward. I closed my hedge, and the reason for the hedge is because of the skew, which I can show you here if you're interested. Every time the skew gets too high, above 135, I hedge. But since I'm not having any other positions, this bad boy right here, it is above 135. We're up here at 145. So every time we get this high, does it drop? And we're up here again, just waiting for that drop. Anyways, it's to hedge the long positions. And I close that for a small. I close my position on Pinterest for a total of $646. I entered a 14 days to expiration, 75 bull call spread for $2.05. So it's at the upward high end channel of 52% of its 52-week channel high. Stacked EMAs, VWAP stack positive. You can see everything looks positive. It's just consolidating, getting ready to go. Then you pull back to the 21 EMA. Got a buy arrow off of support right here. So this is my thought process on that little thing. So high, we flushed down the 34 EMA, which is also support there. Broke above. Now we're retesting and looking for a move higher. Yeah, stacked EMAs, early in signals. Everything is saying that the squeeze is going to fire to the upside. On the weekly chart over here, EMAs are stacked positive. You see there. Early in signals, which is what those bars mean, like whoop, right there. Got a squeeze. Momentum is light blue, starting to shift higher. Over here on the 4-hour chart, it's also still looking bullish. So just looking for it to fire up and retest the $75 level in 14 days. And I ended up closing it, just like I said, due to traveling. And I ended up making, I believe, 44% on it. I'll have to recalculate it, but pretty sure it was 44% return. So I made, like I said, $646 off of risking $300. So that was Pinterest. Now close Peloton. About a 10 day expiration, 148, 155 bull call for $3.10. What I did here was I bought the 60 deltas and sold the 35 deltas, and I closed it for 44% return also for due to traveling, like I said already. Here's the monthly VWAP, looking for it to hold and go higher. Green 10x bars on the larger time frame. So I know this chart pattern could be scary. So we came up, retested this 1618 level, dropped like a rock to the 21 EMA, but we still have green 10x bars on the higher time frames. There was a buy signal right here in the 5 minute. That still give us some wiggle room. My stop is still below the 34 EMA. And I could go ahead and review here. It was 30-minute chart. So you see I got in. It did dip a little bit to 146, and then we finally cruised higher, and I ended up closing it there for that 44% return. Take two. I made $723 on this trade. The 10 days to expiration, 202.50, 197.50 bull put spread for $2.61. I closed half at 50% profit, moved my stop loss to break even, which is what I routinely have set up. As soon as I enter a trade, I put my closing half target in, and then ended up closing the rest at 42% return. So we had green 10x bars moving up. We had a quick flush down right here to support in the 21 EMA. Got buy arrows on the 4-hour and 2-hour. Came up, retested the 21 EMA and the 34 EMA, and now we're going back higher. And also, alpha support closed on a hammer candle, and it is trading above the hammer candle's high, which is an entry signal for a pullback. So, enter that trade. Right here, I did a credit spread due to the IV being higher than historical IV. And here are my entries and exits. And we'll go to the 3-minute chart here. And same thing, see I kind of flagged, I entered, pop up, closed half, and then just closed it yesterday right there. So that was take 2, square. So like I said, I re-entered it. I rolled it out the next week. This is the second trade I did on it, which was also a loss. But it's still, the setup was valid. Price is holding the 8 EMA on the weekly chart. See the candle was starting to turn light blue again. It's on the 34 EMA. It's above the 8 EMA. Has a squeeze with momentum starting to shift higher. So what we're looking for, we're looking for it to hit here, the 21 EMA, then shoot higher. And then the squeeze right here, start the fire and go higher like it did right here, which caused that. However, that has not happened. It have green 10x bars on all the larger time frames. Everything was screaming bullish. But that is not what happened. Bring up this daily chart. Ended up breaking below the 21, going to 34 EMA. Closed below it, and I was like, all right, give it one more day, and it bounced up some, and then I ended up closing it for a loss of, this one was $600, I believe, which is about where I try to keep my losses, $641. So manageable loss there. Everything turned negative on it. I could even. So when the histogram starts to change color, so it turned red here, but I don't want to exactly go running out just because it changed color once, because now it's turning yellow. So now it may actually revert back higher. But nonetheless, just decided to stop out and move on. And I closed my Q position, which was an 8-day expiration, 325, 330 bear call spread. And the reason for this trade is this is definitely a counter trend trade. Prices outside the Bollinger Bands on the daily. The weekly is near 3 ATR. The daily is near 3 ATR. We're at the 3 ATR move on the 4-hour. Everything is just really extended. So though that the weekly squeeze is firing, doesn't mean we can't come back down and retest that 8 EMA. The daily squeeze is firing. We come back down, test it, and then continue higher. Doesn't mean the squeeze isn't valid anymore. And the 1-hour chart was starting to show exhaustion. So I was expecting it to come back down and retest the 1 ATR at the minimum. But what ended up happening, and this is a benefit of credit spreads, depending how you put it relative to the stock price, is you could still make a small profit whenever it doesn't go anywhere. So I entered here, went a little higher, still dropped lower. And so anyways, we're still high. I'm still expecting it to drop down at least a little bit. Well, anyways, close that for a very small winner of $57.50. All right, well, that was all the trades taken last week. And I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have any questions, please write them in the comment section. And if you like this video, like it, share with any of your buddies or your friends, family members looking to trade. And I'm going to try being continuous with this throughout the year. And yeah, so $2,804 for the week. Not too bad. And that's all I have for you. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.